Oh shit. Alright. So, I don't know if this is gonna show up, but right now I have a store-bought. My wife didn't tell me how much we paid for it. I got it at the local fish shop. And right now I'm using my cell phone. Batteries, I think my SD card's full on the video camera. And right now, one of the poisonous worms, see it's different colored spines, is going into the trap. Oh, and look, there's actually already a couple of stragglers. Other side. Oh shit, the other side still got an air bubble in it. I might have micro bubbles getting into the damn thing. Hopefully this fucker will get in there and weigh it down for me. Oh, it's trying to get that fucking shit on the side right there. Damn it. See, a couple of pieces leaked down. Let's see if I can zoom in. Yeah, it's fucking digital zoom, so that's not worth a shit. So it's sitting there. Oh, look at its mouth. So it's sitting there eating this one piece. Fuck. Yeah. I have a total infestation. Okay, so this is supposed to be the harmless one, right? And these are the bad ones. I got stung by one of the harmless ones, or thing. And this one is the Christmas tree one. Red and green or some shit, they say. Yes, I've been researching. Sleeping bubble tip all tiny because it's nighttime. It's such a cute little bubble tip. Anyways. Fuck with my hard corals, man. There, I'm not going to go any other further because I don't want to wake up my perculus. They are sleeping. And, I'm going to watch the other videos. I have some perculus without anemone. And they're sleeping on the sand. Make sure the sand they're sleeping in is clean. Okay. Even if you have to just sprinkle some clean sand. The best way to do it, actually, because you'll just unbury more bacteria. Okay. If there's any kind of disease or ick in your tank, it's going to be buried in the sand. Alright, so you just put some clean sand on top. And just hold that little bit of sand on there. And you know what, it'll actually, covering up all them little jagged bits that get uncovered will somewhat help the flow in your tank. You got nice, smooth, clean sand that actually helps the current flow backwards and through your rocks and so forth. So yeah, let's take a look at this guy. Oh, that might be that big fucker that was in there that we filmed before, huh? Yeah, I think I disturbed him with that quick light. There's no way he's going into that little fucking pissant thing. Sorry, I was seeing with my eyeballs. going back in the thing. Alright, so I'm gonna look and see. No, he hasn't eaten that piece that was in there. So he might actually fucking... What I was wondering is, can they even fit through that little guy? Because, man, when I look at that worm and I look at that trap, I'm like, I think we're gonna need a bigger boat, you know? That is one big, disgusting motherfucker right there. So he's still on that piece that's wedged on the side there. There is a shit ton of bait right there in the middle. Okay, and there's these little tiny fucking holes that are gonna let the smell through. And supposedly they go in there and their bristles get caught, I guess. Oh, he's going in. He's going in. Oh, he's going in right now. Yes. You're fucked, dude. Ha ha ha. Alright, I'm gonna try to zoom out a little so it gets focused a little better. He got out. I guess it's supposed to make him think it's just another little cave rock. So he's feeling around, making sure it's an enclosed space, I guess. Oh, this is kind of exciting. I got stung by one of these fuckers earlier. Going through this here Caulerpa. We got kind of bored of it. But there were, okay, so I sent her and said, get 2 bags of Caulerpa. She was just going to stop by on the way home from work, right? And they had some Chaetamorpha. So I got, this has been growing pretty well. I just got little particles flung everywhere. You can just fling little particles everywhere like that. Oh yes. Don't gotta worry about detritus building up on little particles like that. Just get a lot of them. So, you know, hair algae doesn't build up on it. Well, see if I can get this. I stretched out a ball of it and put it around, kind of as actually rooting material for the floating Caulerpa. Okay, and if you have Caulerpa that wants to float, that's the perfect Caulerpa, one of them little surface growths, okay? You get a bunch of bubbles underneath it and set it to spinning. You need a tumbler. Okay, you can have a natural seaweed scenario happening in your tank. So, just briefly, while I'm trying to let that, I'm going to go ahead and turn the light off right there. So, current comes down at an angle right here. And what I got is rocks in a manner to where their holes are lined up for the current to go through. Okay? And it's not directly going through that. The current's going down here against the glass. Okay, and I even have a cut stone that I just happened to find. has a corner cut into it, acting as a ramp to kind of, help the water turn at the corner. So it makes this vortex and can send a considerable amount of current through the rubble pile and the cobia pod breeding area. Okay. And that's a cobia pod breeding area, if you're wondering. Take some small gravel pieces or rubble pieces and some successively larger rubble pieces, and just basically make a little ant farm waiting to happen. Okay. And here we have the seahorse area. And attention YouTube, seahorses do not fucking like current. Stop torturing. Oh my, I'm going to make a whole video about stop torturing seahorses and stop buying anemones when you're a moron. I was enough of a moron when I bought this anemone, but I've been doing this for 30 years and I knew the risk I was taking, okay? And the reason why I took a risk of buying an anemone after a month, okay, people, but the anemones in a 2-week-old tank, there's people with anemones with tanks that aren't even water cleared yet. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? But see, I had a serious plan, okay? Serious plan. And I added a fish just to take out before I took this anemone home, okay? Because that's how I roll. And while I got a worm infestation out of it, because these people were keeping this glorious rock in a dark rock pool where basically all these sponges were festering and dying, and all the worms were coming to get them. This sponge right here made me feel like I had a bit of an advantage. And I didn't know at the time that Rick, and this thing is fucking huge. Oh, if his ass comes out, I'm gonna grab him. Come on, go in there, motherfucker. God, there's just like so much of it. Sorry, I saw like 9 inches of worm for a second there, at least 8 inches. And I'm like, thinking I can get him with chopsticks if I act really quickly. Forgot the hell I was saying. But yeah, okay. Let me just say this. Seahorses do not belong in a fucking goldfish aquarium. They belong in a very advanced, very natural environment. Okay, very advanced system. You better at least have a freaking protein skimmer and an area to separate your high current filtration rocks from the rocks where they habitate. Okay? See, here I have this acting as a certain type of filter and this acting as another certain type of filter. I have no mechanical filtration other than and that's not even, there's like a little bit of cut up aqua clear foam on there. Oh, directly. Okay, so just a little bit of cut up aqua clear foam. There's a clownfish, little tiny baby maroon clown that I'm about to give back because I decided the bottom was too much for this anemone to be happy. And I'm not gonna risk it dying. I've risked enough, I would say, putting it in a maybe month-and-a-half old tank. But, I know how to quickly establish a tank, and I had all this live rock standing by, and I've been cycling the water back and forth as I added it. So, oh my god, it's just, the Caulerpa I got was just chock full of bristle worms. Look at these bastards. They're crawling out of the water, trying to climb up the Caulerpa out of the fucking. Oh god, I hope none of them made it. Oh, Can a bristle worm crawl around on the ground? Oh shit, I just got totally creeped out. I had one stuck in my finger earlier. Just the one. Just the one. Got lucky. Last time I got like 5 of them fuckers. That was from going through. Ooh. Okay, that's gonna hurt. Gotta hold my phone a little more carefully than I just was. Speaking of taking risks. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff still in here. And in fact, where's my chopstick? This is a good example of bad hitchhikers. Okay? Here in the Caulerpa, right there. He's all balled up trying to defend himself. Look. Oh God, please don't let me drop my phone. It's in the bucket right now. Look at that. Oh gosh, I'm gonna get my chopsticks right here. I'm just gonna yank his ass right out. If I can. He's gonna try to fall. Got him. And in with your little fucking friend, you bastard. And yeah, those are the good worms, but I've had enough of these fuckers. I don't want them in my tank anymore. I don't care if it messes up my cycle. There's like a million of them on the bottom here. I was just kind of taking that one out to be entertaining. What we're looking for in here. Oh, by the way, this is a current bubbler. If you're gonna weigh down there isn't even air stone in there right now because I couldn't find one. But if you're gonna weigh down something, use a narrower PVC pipe and something to first go down with, so the pipe can go to the bottom and then around the back of, okay, back into the thing. Because basically it's just this simple. If you jumped right into the big money side of this hobby, you may not have experienced an under gravel filter with a little air bubbling thing. But so my wife and my daughters were having fun picking through this. There's another fucking worm. I might just deworm and de-shit this and use some more of this Caulerpa actually. Which is why I at the last minute decided to throw the bubbler on here. Some of it looks good, some of it just looks too shitty to put in my tank. I put a bunch of it in and I wound up having to fish all that kind of stuff out with a net. As you can see, I got most of it. I mean, the floor, that was on the floor. I mean, it looked like that in there. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to reduce nitrates, not cause a spike. Okay. More freaking worms. Oh, big boy is out like big time. Come all the way out, you fucking chicken shit bastard. I got something for you, my friend. Well, not that Caulerpa, for chopsticks. I almost just want to stab right at that hole that he's out of. Oh god, that is that big fucker. And I'm pretty sure this thing's too. Too big for him, and apparently. I can't tell if I see another one in there or not anymore. One of those bastards made it out of there. I want that big fucker out of my tank. Let that ass come out. Come on. He sensed the disturbance in the force. God, I hate you. I want you out of my fucking tank. So all I've done so far is feed these fucking things. Well, See, it's like I could get that little bastard right now, but then what's the point? You know? What the fuck is the point? I mean, I'm used to my little tapping regimen on what I do for live run. Okay, so I don't want to stress out my perculars because they're my happy couple. And I think they're looking at me. I think the female's looking at me. So I woke them up. Shit. So, if you want to set up a saltwater 10-gallon, just in case I catch anybody looking at saltwater stuff before I make actual videos about these things. That is what your 10-gallon will wind up looking like. Okay, if you're lucky. Right? A 10-gallon is not made to be a reef tank. You can keep a couple of damsels or like a damsel and a triggerfish to sit there and, keep you fresh on damsels. Triggerfish and some hermit crabs. Now that's hilarious because the triggerfish can never quite get them. Well, sometimes they can, and they're fucking hermit crabs. So. But, that's what belongs in a 10-gallon tank. Okay, stop making these little fucking reef tanks out of tiny little tanks and putting expensive exotic corals. Anemones. An anemone is a carnivorous animal. Okay, an anemone is the hardest coral and the hardest predator fish in one. Okay, they don't fucking belong in a 10-gallon. And this, if you want to have a 10-gallon for seahorses, okay, get a protein skimmer and like I got right here, under here somewhere.